All right, now we're live. Hello, everyone. It's BIDHAN here and CLEO talking today about landlord insurance. Who pays the damages here in Novak News? Stay tuned while we talk about landlord insurance. All right, here we are.
Good
Let's
evening,
just myself so
BIDHAN.
I
How
can
are you?
show a house at the back. Hello, Cleo. How are you?
Good. You look like you're on a tropical island. I love it.
Yeah, I have a little red umbrella at the top.
Perfect.
All right, so here we are talking about landlord insurance, which I don't think many people talk about, and something I think we really need to put light on to see what it actually is about, because not many people know what this actually is. So, Cleo, being a property manager dealing with landlords day in, day out for over a decade. So, do you mind sharing a bit of light and little info in a short way what a landlord insurance is?
Sure. It's a really good topic and an important one that shouldn't really be overlooked. It protects the owner and their asset generally. And usually, the main reason that a landlord would take out insurance would be because he has a tenant or she has a tenant living in the property. And things can happen, damages can happen, circumstances can change. And the policies that are available do a lot of damage control pretty much for the owner and their pocket.
Uh, so, putting in simple way, it's pretty much like car insurance. And if you're renting a car out, anything happens to that car, your insurance covers it.
That's right. And
Basic
just
terms.
yeah, with landlord insurance in particular, there are many companies that do that. It usually is about $400 a year, which is totally tax deductible for the landlord against the property. So for that small amount of money, it really can make a huge difference in the event of a disaster or a situation with a bad tenant.
Yeah, definitely. Like you have $1 million worth of property and $400 a year is pretty much nothing compared to you paying almost 150 bucks per month for your car insurance. So that's I think it sounds fair for a $1 million property and $400 per year sounds pretty straightforward. So does landlord insurance cover like if you don't get rent in time or if there's any damage done by tenants? Does a
For
bond
sure.
cover that?
So look, the main two reasons you'd get landlord insurance to cover your property would be one, rent arrears that you've just asked a question. The policies usually will pay up to 12 weeks worth of arrears. I've not yet done a claim whilst the tenant's still inhabiting the property. It's usually done after a tribunal order and bond has been finalised. Then you would put your claim in with your insurance company and they will also give you up to 12 weeks worth of the arrears. If you've got a property that's over 900 per week, you could imagine, that could really add up as far as a debt owing. So that 12-week buffer, along with your bond can somewhat, almost cover you completely for the loss of rent, which is really important, especially since, we had COVID and employment the way it is and cost of living. I feel that this is probably a more commonly claimed part of insurance for rent arrears.
Yeah, definitely. That is very, very true. And thank you for sharing that. But yeah, I think insurance is something that I think something that you need unless, that is really needed unless you need it. So it's something for accident and they can just come unannounced. And with rent arrears, like you would think everyone would pay rent on time, but being in the industry itself, there are lots of circumstances like COVID, for instance. No one knew they were coming. So, but here we are, dealt with it. I think CLEO and lots of our property managers dealt really hard throughout those period. And I think landlord insurance might have come in handy at those times.
Yeah, and it was really tough for owners that weren't insured to then get a policy during COVID. I think during that time, there was no one. You know, everyone started going, oh my gosh, I should have landlord insurance. And then the insurance companies couldn't keep up. So then no new policies were available. I believe Mark made an inquiry with the company during COVID and sent it out to all our clients, you know, to try and help for those that didn't have cover. So that was really good for some of our clients that benefited from that during COVID. But insurance, although it's there for many things, another thing's damage. You know, when your property's damaged maliciously by a tenant, it can really cost you your investment. Some of these properties that have, you know, been poorly treated. So, and that has to do with management as well. It's very rare that, you know, bond wouldn't cover a small hole in the wall or a door or something, but there, you know, you do hear horror stories of tenants that have left the property in a really bad way, and you know, your damages can be covered through your insurance company depending on, you know, your policy and excess.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, with tenants, it's hard to, you know, accept, you know, predict them to do what they will do, and they'll keep the property like their own home. And there are accidents, and you know, you never know what might happen. I think the other day I overheard one of the property managers talking one of the unit burned down, and while the
That was
tenants were
me.
cooking. Oh, that was you. Oh, there we go. I think you were the one who showed me the photo after unit burned down.
Oh my God. And we sit so close together. You must hear all our horror stories and go, I don't want to hear.
So yeah,
yes,
those kind of
no,
things. Right.
The gas bottle, they were cooking in the bedroom and the gas bottle exploded. Luckily, they weren't in the room at the time, and they were all in the lounge room watching a movie or something, and the fire brigade got called, and most of the damage was actually done by the fire retardant that they put, you know, the fireys put the fire out with, and that's black, and it just made the whole apartment just look like a horror show.
Oh no,
yeah, and the landlord's insurance did cover a lot. They had it all repainted. You have to get forensic cleaning done, which was thousands. They had cupboards replaced in the kitchen, curtains, the light fittings had melted. You know, there was a lot that, you know, if they weren't
like
covered, that
property.
Yeah, it would have cost a fortune to have all that stuff done. And this company in particular, which I can't name, but they did such a quick turnaround with everything. They also paid the loss of rent. So during the time the property was inhabitable, the tenant had to move out, but the time that it was vacant and whilst all these repairs were happening, the owner also received the same amount of rent that she was getting during the tenancy. So, you know, that if that's not a tip to get landlord insurance, I don't know what is.
Yeah, I think it's very handy. Like, you are a landlord for a reason, just for a thought to get the extra income, you know, and because you have investment property, that means you have a second mortgage, and you're highly dependent on that rental income per week to pay that mortgage off. So I think that's the main trick everyone's trying to do at the moment. And when uncertain things like this happens, the unit burns down and the rent is not coming, the tenants are not there, I think landlord insurance is something that comes in handy a lot of times. And I've overheard people like, do the bank, while providing mortgage for investment, do they provide you an option for landlord insurance as well, CLEO?
They do. Many banks have their own landlord insurance packages. They're usually negotiated, like you said, at the time you get the home loan. But I do find in my experience that the companies that are specifically tailored independently for home tenanted properties and investors usually cover a lot more, you know, for their policies. It doesn't mean that the banks won't cover for certain things like arrears and damages, but I just find that the fine print, you know, you're going with a company that tailors specifically to landlords, you're usually going to win. We also had a property where the tenants upstairs were asleep and a flexi hose had gone out in the middle of the night. They didn't hear it. They woke up, a pool of water, 4 units, including the top one that leaked into our unit below, completely flooded the common areas. The ceiling in the lounge room of our property had completely collapsed onto the ground. It was just gyprock. The tenants had only been in there for 2 weeks. It was awful. And yeah, the insurance company did take care of that. A lot of the arrears as well, they were paid, but it was, I think, 2 months in total to get all this work fixed.
Yeah.
And Strata, their insurance, the building insurance, that covers the common areas, but not necessarily all the internal. If it's a pipe that's burst, that's part of common property, then yes, fully covered by Strata. But as it was a pipe that was internal in the vanity of the unit above, I believe that unit's insurance policy covered our unit and the, neighboring units. But yeah, again, without the insurers, that owner could have been up for a lot.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is something very interesting. For almost $400 per year, and all that things that could happen, like flooding, fire, and lots of things. I think it's best value for your money compared to what you have been doing on a daily basis. For $1 million property, I don't think $400 per year is even a question as a landlord and as an investor if you want to be on the safe side.
Yeah, and putting in a claim, the excess, it's easy. The property manager does it all for you, or her team. My team, Leo, shout out. He's done a few of those. He's getting quite good at them. So filling in the claim is quite easy. It's all because we use our software program, and it's all pretty straightforward. The landlord doesn't have to do anything. They just, pay the yearly premium, claim it on their tax, and you can sleep better at night knowing you're covered.
Yeah, there you go. So you can probably claim it on tax as well because it's your investment. So the amount you pay for insurance and the access you pay can definitely be claimed on insurance in later while doing your tax return in July.
Exactly. And for all those new clients that you're bringing on BIDHAN with all new business, I know you always would ask, but definitely suggest the insurance. But for us property managers, it makes our job easier as well. But yeah, definitely recommend for sure. Even if your tenant's a smooth tenant, you don't foresee anything, you just never know. It's always best to be covered.
It's accidents. It's called accident for a reason. Like you never know when it's gonna happen.
That's it. Touch wood, as they say, but I don't know how sure safe that is.
I don't have anything near me, but you can do it on my behalf. Anyway, I think we pretty much covered most of the bit. I think it's one of the most important thing, landlord insurance. It's like having you covered 24/7 in terms of your property that you worked hard to get, and you're enjoying that rental income. So if there are any questions or anything, feel free to reach out. The team, I'm here as landlord support, CLEO property manager, and there are other property managers who are here pretty much 24/7. So is there anything else you would like to add on, CLEO?
No, I think we've covered everything. Hopefully no more claims. That may 2024 be insurance claim free for all our landlords.
Definitely. We'll definitely wish that. We don't want any hassles, and this is our year.
That's it, for sure.
All right, that's it from us. Thank you for joining in, guys. BIDHAN and CLEO from Novak signing off. Take care, CLEO. Good night.
Good night. Good night, everyone.